Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I have brought on a special guest and friend of mine, Scott Phelan. As some of you may know, we were going to be starting a podcast together about a month ago. However, Scott ended up coming into contact with the coronavirus not long after that, and he's been quite sick for the past few weeks, and he's only just starting to feel better now. And he's decided to come on today and talk about his experience with the virus so far. Thank you so much for joining us today, Scott.
Zoe, the pleasure's always mine. You know that.
How are you feeling?
I'm still under the weather, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 8.7632.
If 10 is sick or if 10 is well?
10 as well.
Well, that's good. Yeah, great. Getting there. So,
It's the fractions of decimal points at the end that really make the difference.
How long ago? It was about 3 weeks ago that you think that you first came into contact with the virus?
Yeah, I think. I don't know definitively when, what transpired, but I went to a concert on March 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of days later, I started to feel real funky.
Yeah.
And I went to the show on a Tuesday. By Friday night, I was kind of noticeably concerned.
Mm.
By Saturday morning, I had a full blown fever and chills and ache, and it just got progressively worse. And I straight till the following Tuesday, I just, I kept thinking it's just going to break. It's just a flu.
Yeah.
So I called my regular, my general physician, I guess you would call him, and he said since I didn't have any respiratory symptoms, it was probably just some flu.
Yeah.
And he gave me some flu medication,
Mm-hmm.
which probably did shit for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what it did do is I didn't take any ibuprofen. I took the medication, and I stay stuck with what he told me to do.
Yeah.
And I really believe right now that that's the difference. Like people I didn't know that took the ibuprofen got really, really, really sad. And I mean, I was as scared as I've ever been in my life.
Mm.
I've never felt this kind of like absolute lack of control. Like I can't breathe. And when I was in the height of it, I was terrified, literally terrified. I was out of control. It was not up to me anymore.
Is that because of the breathing?
Because of the breathing, yeah, I couldn't get my breath. I'm reaching back, gasping for breath, and it's not there. And I've never had a feeling like that in my life. It's like you're suffocating slowly.
You did go to hospital, didn't you, Scott?
I did. I went on the 18th.
Yeah.
But that was another horrific experience. It was just a waste of. The only thing that came out of it positive was that I got actually diagnosed with the virus.
Right.
That was confirmed. Everything else was a complete shit show.
So it was just a bit of a stressful experience.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I didn't realize it even while I was going through it. I was like just grateful that I was being treated, and I felt confident. And only to find out that they told me I had pneumonia. That's why they admitted me, and then. That was Wednesday night. And on Friday night, they came in and told me I tested positive, that they were discharging me. And I go, well, what about the pneumonia? And they go, you don't have pneumonia. Oh. I go, what do you mean? You told me, the same person told me I had pneumonia. Mm-hmm. She goes, yeah, but you didn't have pneumonia. We needed to tell you that so that you would stay here. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, are you, like, how is that okay?
Yeah.
How is anything about that okay? But you know what it is? We've talked prior to this, Zoe, and my MO would be lose your head. Just let it just send you and go crazy, and lash out at people and blame and all this other stuff, and then wind up in a deeper hole. So I just caught myself, and I just was like, whatever, man, I got to get out of here. Give me the paperwork, and I got in my car and I drove home.
Okay, so then
Thank God.
You were in quarantine, yeah?
Oh yeah, I got really bad. That's when I got, really bad again.
And living at home by yourself during that period,
Yes.
that would have been really tough. How did you go about, getting food and medication and all the things that you needed during that period?
There was no medication. Like I got a Z-Pack that I have a pulmonary doctor who's great.
Is that an antibiotic,
Doc,
a Z-Pack?
I guess so. I'm not, it's just that I don't really, I think so.
Okay.
Like I explained her, Dr. Janice, she was just an absolute godsend. She was, like she reserved a bed for me in a hospital if I needed to go. And like, she took all the steps, just get there. If you feel like that, you need oxygen or assistance breathing, then you need to find out
Yep.
definitively if you do or not. So, and then there's this hospital in Long Island, St. Francis Hospital. It's a great hospital, and that's where she had me set up. The thing was that the issue was, how do I get there? I either drive there or I call like an Uber or something, and then I'm subjecting some other person to what I know I have now.
Right.
And I just don't feel cool doing that.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel it was that urgent. Like I'm scared, but I'm not terrified yet,
Yeah.
I thought I could make it till the morning. And I did. And then we spoke again in the morning, and she sent me over a script for this Z-Pack,
Mm-hmm.
and things started to get slowly better.
So that was.
But I'm going to say that I firmly believe the fact that I didn't take any ibuprofen, and that's just by the grace of God. Like I would have normally, that's my go-to thing, an anti-inflammatory to ease the pain.
Yeah, I saw
But
something circulating around on Facebook about ibuprofen. The people that had died had that in their system.
yeah, because they say it accelerates it like 10-fold, 50-fold, like, depending on all this, every case is different.
Mm-hmm.
I have pre-existing conditions coming into this. I have a heart condition. I have other health issues I'm dealing with. So, how my body's going to respond to a virus like this is going to be different than your body or somebody with almost the identical scenario, except for one or two little things. They can be big things as far as how I'm going to respond to treatment and how I'm going to respond to medication, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Okay. So that the lowest point for you when you had to wait that night before the doctor sent you the medication? Was that your scariest night when you were saying you couldn't?
Well, here's the thing. If you're like, and this is what she explained to me. So when you have an understanding, it means a lot, because you can kind of, because there's nothing they can really do. At a certain point, this is like, you either need oxygen or you don't.
Okay. And you got by.
You need a ventilator or you don't. And
so you had no oxygen, no breathing support throughout your experience.
Again, when I was in a hospital, they told me my oxygen was 90 instead of 100.
Mm-hmm.
So they put me on the tube in your nose to give you air.
Yeah.
They never plugged it in.
Oh.
So I'm wearing this thing, which is giving me no air. And they told me my oxygen level went from 90 to 93.
With no air, you did that all on your own.
Nobody knows, like this is some kind of phenomenon, but it's another indication of inadequate, care. Just like, how do you miss that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How does that go on? How does that go on for a whole day, and it's not picked up on?
Yeah, was it busy in the hospitals while you were there? Was it jam packed?
That's when I was in the hospital. That's the only oxygen I got.
Yeah.
Allegedly got.
You didn't actually get it. Yeah.
Didn't actually get it. Yes. I wonder if I get billed for it.
Yeah. But what's it like being in quarantine? Have people been helping you with food and things like that? How have you been getting by?
The older I get, like the more I don't want to be around a lot of people. So it's actually, in a way, a blessing.
Oh, you're enjoying it, aren't you?
Well, let's not get carried away. I can't say I'm enjoying it, but it's not that bad. I listen to people honestly whining about, it's like being in jail. It's not like being in jail. Mm-hmm. You're in your fucking house. Mm-hmm. How is this, let's, like people have to, we have to be more respectful of other people and just don't subject, like, I can't get in that Uber just because I need to get to the hospital. Like I can get in that Uber if I have to, and I don't have any other resort, and I wear like 3 masks,
Yeah.
and gloves, and like, but there's all these steps you take just because you should be decent to other people. Like somebody shouldn't just be doing their job and be forced to have this because they're just, there's my main man. What's up, buddy?
Visitor.
What's up, Zachinator? The Zachmeister? This little guy's going to be driving the little girls crazy over there in Melbourne, isn't he? Hey, Zach. Hey, Zach. Hey, Zach. Do you have a girlfriend yet, Zach? I knew it. I knew it.
Don't encourage him.
Good man.
All right, mate.
Is mommy your girlfriend?
Look
at it. That'll get rid of him.
Yes, he's off. So I was going to ask you about how you managed to get your food and everything while you were quarantined in the house by yourself.
Great friends. I mean, people have been like unbelievable, dropping stuff off and just, but here's what I'm going to say about the breathing thing, right?
Okay, back to the breathing first.
Dr. Janice told me when you're just in bed, or in a chair, not exerting anything, just breathe and just kind of just ease. Just be in as much ease as you can, but because you're not exerting yourself, you're not going to be struggling. Then somebody will say, hey, I just dropped off some fruit salad and some Tylenol, or hero sandwich or whatever it is, and it's on your stoop. I got to go down. I live on the second floor, so I walk down it's probably 10 steps, reach down, pick up whatever's there, and walk back up the stairs. And I literally feel like I just ran a marathon.
Okay.
I am out of gas, and I'm breathing. And I again, thank God I learned about breathing and stuff. So I was able to just calm myself and get a grasp and control of my breath.
Okay.
It's the difference maker. It's so simple. It's simple.
Can you give us an example of what that breathing technique looks like, just for anyone who might need to use it? You never know. Is it?
It's my favorite person. My favorite person on the planet, who just recently passed away, Tao.
Yeah.
She used to always. She had these mantras that she always lived by, and she would say, "Sit in a chair with your back straight, arch your back, stick your chest out, and breathe slowly, like take the air into your heart. And then when you exhale from your heart, and just pay attention." Is that complicated?
No.
Right? But when you actually do it, and trust me, Zoe, I'm not one of these people that sits around doing this. But when the shit hit the fan, and I needed to just that's what came to me.
Yeah.
And she's telling you out of with a purpose of, that's how you put love in the universe, by letting the air come in and coming through your heart, like it flows through your heart and then you release it.
Yeah.
Like that, as a human life, you have that amount of control, whether you believe in it or not, whatever. But by doing it, that's her point. But that's what I was able to do in the last couple of 10 days or whatever, to just kind of get a semblance of control, because feeling like you're suffocating is absolutely mind-bending. Yeah. Like I've been through so much hospitals and injuries and all kinds of conditions, probably 30 surgeries at least in my life it's a safe minimum. And never have I ever felt any fear like this.
Yeah. So mentally, was it a huge journey for you as well, going through this whole thing, not just physically?
I think I'd probably be better answering that in a week or so.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Seriously, when you're it's like being in the line of fire. You don't have time to think. It's like, what do I have to do to get through the moment? So it's kind of like just living And then, like, in retrospect, you can kind of, like, I'm telling you about this breathing stuff. I only can really appreciate the value of it now, as opposed to when I was actually practicing it and needing it to help me.
For those
Like,
of
while
you,
that's going on, it's not so profound.
for those who don't know who Tao is, do you mind just giving everyone a little bit of a backstory on who Tao is and why she taught you that particular breathing technique?
Tao would teach anyone anything that she could. Like, she was just one of these souls that I kind of met because I heard about her,
Mm-hmm.
and I drove up to meet her and introduce myself, and like a kinship developed like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
A sense of humor that she had. We just connected,
She's
and
a
she
yoga
just
teacher. Yeah.
became.
She
Excuse
was
me.
one of the oldest yoga teachers on the planet, wasn't she?
She was the oldest yoga
The
teacher on the
oldest yoga.
planet for like the last 10 years,
Yeah.
at least according to Guinness Book.
101 was she?
100 and, yeah, 101 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would have been 102 this August. So whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. So she
Yeah.
taught you this breathing technique, and this is one of the things that got you through.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. And yes. And again, it's like a lot of this stuff, Zoe, like I'm trying to explain to people. It's really simple, and it's all like, it's my life unfolded the way it did to give relevance and importance to certain things, people coming into my life, whatever, at real specific times. I almost had like no control over it. It's just like I just lived my life, but a lot of bad things happened, and then I started to make a conscious effort to just better myself, and other things started to just happen. But it's not like, I mean, when I look back at some of the people like you, how we even met, we're on opposite sides of the planet, and we have different perspectives.
We do. That's why I always call perspectives.
Hence, it just like life plays out, and I'm just a beneficiary of people's goodwill. It's not like I'm sitting here being all like selfless and I'm not bringing anything to the table. I bring myself to the table, but it's nothing profound or dramatic. It's a connection that I got to appreciate people and subtle gifts that would have never been, I would have never even noticed them, except the fact of my own desperate situation at times. Like, I understand what love is. I can understand what real compassion is. I can understand a lot of things like that because I've been down.
Mm.
Now, I didn't make conscious decisions to just destroy my life, but there I was. And then suddenly, like, spirituality kind of takes over, and just you avail yourself to it, and ugly, dark, and dirty becomes tolerable, a little bit better than that. And before you know it, if you stay the course and you start to have input, like from a guy who sucked the system, to somebody that contributes to the system, that's a dramatic difference.
Mm.
Some people just go through their whole lives just doing the right thing. My life didn't necessarily play out that way.
Mm.
But at the same time, I couldn't trade places with anybody. Like, I wouldn't wish that little guy to have to go through the type of journey that I had to go through. But at the same time, what I got from my journey, I don't think I could have gotten any other way.
So what did you get from your journey? What were the main lessons that you learned, or the main thing that you took from this whole experience?
Like, that's a really deep question. But when you go through something like this and you're scared, you're by yourself and you're scared and you're isolated in a sense. Like, now with social media, you're never really isolated, but in a sense, your physical contact is limited, but let's not be dramatic about it. You just get a real perspective of who's really there for you. Like,
Yeah.
who really cares, who really wants, to help you through something with no strings attached, and who is totally full of shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that you don't know who that is in either direction. the people you might really depend on somebody to find out, oops, bad lack of judgment on my part there, and then sometimes somebody that you didn't expect has real, genuine, authentic love for you and just care and will go out of their way like it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a friend of my brother's, actually. I've met him a few times. He's a great guy, really nice guy, very, very funny, like a personality that you can't not connect with.
Yeah.
But this guy was running by, hey, what do you need, man? You want a sandwich? Or what can I get you? And just like every day he's dropping food at my, and I'm just like, wow, dude, I feel so indebted to this guy, Matt.
Yeah.
The guy's just nonstop, just being a good soul.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So you've got to really,
it's amazing.
People come together and help out and support you through this. That would have been quite hard.
And you're desperate too. You're really desperate, and you don't want to be a pain in the ass and a thorn in the side of somebody. And they make you feel just like, just chill, just what do you want? Just tell me what you want.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, but you don't find out really until something like this happens.
It's true. And I can't imagine how vulnerable you must have been feeling when you were at your sickest, and
the most vulnerable I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, I literally knew this is out of my control. It's not like, well, this is why I worked out all those years so I could have my wind. It doesn't mean shit in a moment like that. It's divine or it's not. I'll tell you something, Zoe, that a really dear friend of mine, Janine, who was at the same show I was at that night.
Mm.
And her husband, much younger guy than I am, and I mean a really, really good guy, just a rock and roll soul. Really, he's dead because of this virus. It just killed him, just like, Sunday.
Oh, really?
And she is, my heart bleeds. Like, I don't want to get over dramatic, but I'm lucky, but it's hard to really sit here and be like, all relieved. And when I know some girl right now doesn't have she has a beautiful kid, by the way. He's probably 18, 19 years old. He's autistic. And another one of these, like, he's really just a really good kid, but he needs a lot of help and attention. And the two of them devoted their whole life to this kid. And now she's in it by herself. Her soulmate just got sick and died like that.
Mm.
That's how severe this is. That's how serious this is. It's tragic. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
I have a couple of really good friends both last night, sending me jokes about the virus. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. Like, not me, not now.
Yeah.
And I know their intent is not to like get under my skin and irritate. It's the sense of humor, something like that. But the lack of sensitivity, I have to point that out. I'm not begrudging them. You just have to understand that this is not a fucking joke.
Mm.
There's nothing funny about this. If you want to make light of this, you're part of the problem. This is a real serious epidemic that's going on. Pandemic. It's real.
Yeah.
It's killing people. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I guess.
And this poor little kid doesn't have a father right now. And this girl doesn't have her soulmate and her dad's father. And it's just, why?
Mm.
Why?
I think that's how some people try and cope, mentally with it, by trying to find humor in it. Yeah, I guess from your perspective, after experiencing what you've experienced, and obviously having a close friend that has died from it, I can understand how that would not be funny to you.
And you know what, Zoe? That's why I'm doing this with you here too, because I can't like just sit here and say, yeah, if you want to joke about it, that's on you. No, I need to say this is not a fucking joke. Excuse my French, but it's not. This is a serious matter here. And it's nothing less than should warrant 100% of our effort for each other to just get through this, together, somehow find a silver lining in a really, really dark cloud.
Do you
and
think,
pull
do you
together.
see a silver lining out of this whole experience?
I do, but it's really hard when you have this one situation because it's one of that's one that's close to home.
Yep.
There's so many other ones out there. There's thousands of people dying per day here.
Yep.
And how do you joke about something like that? How do you even like not, I don't say walk around like you're in a funeral parlor, but feel the truth of the magnitude of the moment and just honor people that just lives have been turned upside down.
Yeah. Well, is that, I mean, if there's one message that you wanted to get across today in this interview, what is that message that you'd like to share with people around this?
Be responsible, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is bigger than any one of us, and don't take ibuprofen under any circumstances. If you have one symptom, stay away. I think that was a difference maker. It's like, I'm so glad I didn't.
Okay.
When I hear about other people, and if you're smoking cigarettes, please wake the fuck up. Stop. Because you need, like right now, like this is real. You need every faculty that you have. So you don't need a weakened immune system. You don't need, a weak or short lung capacity. I like imagine when I'm gasping for air, scared, like literally scared. I don't throw that word around, but I'm like, oh shit, what do I do here? The air's not there. What if my lung capacity is even less than that because I allegedly need to have this cigarette that seems to be so important on this self-indulgent level. And when something like this that nobody could foresee happening, it decreases our opportunity to make it through on a tremendous scale.
Yeah.
So for whatever pleasure we think we're getting, I'm just saying, I smoked myself. I mean, I get it, but quitting smoking, I quit getting high a little over 14 years ago, and I quit smoking cigarettes a month or two after I quit. I just threw that in the I bought the all-inclusive package. So I threw the cigarettes in there too. I'm as proud of that as any drug or drink or anything. That's a really,
it's a tough habit to kick, but better time than ever now.
That's what was actually easier the way I did it. Just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just throw it into the pile, and I can't go into that pile.
Yeah.
It's kind of simplified it.
Well, I'm going to have to wrap things up shortly. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we jump off? I've got about 2 more minutes.
Well, how do you feel about the anti-ballistic missile system, globally speaking? Woo!
I thought we were talking about coronavirus.
Well, I get good point. Good point. See, you brought your A game, Zoe. No, honestly, like we have to have a sense of humor a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But do not lose sight of how important this stuff is. And you know what? Really quick too is that we started out, you mentioned Tao. Breathing is so important, and it's something that we all take for granted. And we think like, and I've had this conversation with many people dear to me, trying to explain to them how beneficial this has been to me. And they laugh. They kind of mock me.
Really?
Because yes, and it's okay. They don't understand. I get it. It's a different. I didn't grow up thinking about breath work. I mean, I've never heard of such a thing. I just knew how to breathe to get better endurance athletically. It was the extent of it. But I understand now on so many different levels how important air is and how we can be in charge of that.
Yep.
That it changes everything.
Yes, definitely.
Like the whole scope and the perspective changes.
And you know what? Not even for someone who's sick and struggling to breathe. conscious breathing is fantastic for, anxiety or stress.
Everything. Yes.
Everyone should be doing it at the moment, whether you're sick or not. I'm a yoga teacher myself, like Tao, and it's something that I teach people because it has so many benefits, conscious breathing, and it's something simple that we can all do at home while we're all in isolation to help us get through this.
This is another thing that I've learned as of late too. It's like, you come from this masculine perspective and you think as a guy, you think you know what strength is, you think you know what power is. And as you get wiser and you see things clearer, I can see, like, you can do yoga and you could bury me. Like, you can do things that I can dream of doing, and then I start to, wow, that's impressive. And you start to think, like, I can't learn from a girl. Like, no girl's going to teach me how to be strong or how to be athletic, or that just made no sense conceptually to me. Like, I didn't grow up thinking that way. The more I've availed myself to this, I can understand strength and power, control, confidence from a different perspective,
Yes.
So, which is what brought us together too, in this whole concept of what we'll be doing. There can be a mutual admiration, a mutual respect for a different approach to what is ultimately the same goal. It's like your peace, your happiness, your contentment, mine. They might be different, but that's still my peace, happiness, contentment, and yours is yours. How we get there, if we're open to learning from each other, we got a better shot, and you just were more well-rounded across the board. And breath, like, when you know about breath and I don't, and I can learn that from you, exponentially better for that. Yep. But I have to avail myself.
Yeah, and it's great that you are so open to these new techniques and these new things,
Well, they work.
They do.
I know.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to me and everyone today, Scott. I really appreciate that.
Talking to you, Zoe, is never a chore.
I'm so glad that you are feeling better. I was worried about you while you were sick. There were a couple of days there where, I knew how difficult it was for you to breathe, and I'm very glad that you've now come out the other end. It's, like you said, it's serious stuff. So very grateful that you're on the mend. Yes, and I look forward to, getting into some more podcasts with you once you're, at 100%. You're nearly there. But yeah,
I look forward to it too. I really do. And I appreciate your love and your support and encouragement, especially through this as of late. And I'm really excited to a lot of the stuff that we can do, upcoming.
Awesome.
We can shock the world.
Yeah, we've got heaps of cool guests lined up, so it's going to be lots of fun.
That we do,
and lots of important topics too, I think, to discuss. And people are doing some great stuff around the world, around this whole, realm that we've been discussing around consciousness and healing and all of that. So let's.
Hey, Zoe, really quick, can I tell you the greatest takeaway from the whole thing?
Yeah, of course, please do.
And I'll be brief. You know the project I'm working on with little Sophie?
Yes.
She's over there in Germany right now, and they're from Russia, her and her mom. Mm-hmm. Russia, from what I understand, no cases.
Really?
Okay? From what I'm understanding.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know what the actual numbers are, if there are numbers, and they're in Germany, where in Frankfurt, and it's like 60% of the people have been, tested and positive, but quarantined, and they're handling it, wonderfully. But this little girl is so frail and so susceptible immunity-wise to so much out there, and she is killing it. She's doing it. She has transcended. I have interviews I did when I was in Germany with doctors that said she will not be doing what she's currently doing when she's 18, and she's 3, and she's left all that bullshit in the like she doesn't hear it, and she literally doesn't hear it. You can't do this, or you won't. She's mini Tao. She's mini Tao.
Yes,
She
it
just
sounds
will
like
not be denied.
you've got a very
So my thing is, don't pray for me. I got this.
Mm,
Pray for this little one, because this little kid is going to be a difference maker.
yes.
Mark my words. That's why I'm so drawn to this story. This little child is going to be a difference maker, a
Mm.
game changer. Mark my words. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the documentary once it's complete. It's going to be really, really awesome. She's such a beautiful, inspiring little girl. She's amazing.
If she does not steal your heart, you don't have a pulse.
Yeah. What's the name of the condition that she has, just for anyone who doesn't know about your project?
EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yeah. It's a connective tissue disorder, right?
Yes, and she's got a very severe case of it.
Yeah.
But like, forget all of that. Like, forget statistics and projections. And this girl's going to get it done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're all going to cry together. We're all going to, as a universe, we're going to cry together, celebrating the joy of a little child that refuses to be denied. She just wants to run. She
Yeah.
just wants to play. It's that simple.
Yeah. No, yeah. So Scott's been following her story, and he's in the process of making a documentary about Sophie and her journey with EDS. So it'll be great once that's all out and ready for everyone to see. Very excited. And I'm sure that's been keeping you going as well throughout your illness. The thought of,
well, you know what it's like to know that, you know, she doesn't understand who some of these people are. Like some of the greatest musicians I've ever listened to in my life, and they literally check in with me almost on a daily basis out of concern, like, how's my little angel? You know, how's the little one?
yeah.
And I get these messages, and I just said, she doesn't understand how she's touching people, you know, just by being a kid.
Yeah.
But so much more. If
Yes.
you know,
She has an amazing spirit. I've seen some beautiful little videos of her, and she's so inspiring. So
I've got at least 50 messages from Tao directly to her. So like my two heroes, I said this like last year, one is 101 and the other one is 2.
That's awesome.
Can't make it up.
All right, Scott. Well, I'm going to have to end that up there, but thank you so much. I will chat to you very soon. Thank you for sharing your journey with everybody. And
thank you for having me, Zoe. Always.
Okay. You have a great evening.
You too. Peace.
Peace.